Hello, everybody. My name is Carlos Deschamps, and I'm a filmmaker from New York City. We're all stuck at home because of quarantine, and we're trying to stay safe out here. So what I'm going to be doing is just going through some of my old films and kind of speak about it, talk about the process when I was making the film, and some kind of behind the scenes slash commentaries because I never done that with any of my films. So I was like, might as well. I have a lot of friends who always ask me like, hey, how do you do this? How you do that? Any tips on when I work on my film? So I was like, let me just actually look at back to some of my older films and then just start talking about it because I learned so much from that process. And the first film we're going to watch today is actually going to be The Choice, which was one of my first film, or the first film that was actually organized in terms of the pre-production, production, and post-production. It was following the traditional Hollywood style production of a film. So yeah, The Choice was done in 2016, so a few years ago, and it starred Jose Melendez and Daisha Williams, and I thank them a lot because they were part of my first project. So I'm gonna play the film, and it's gonna be up here. If you want to watch the film without my commentary, it's on my YouTube link channel. I think it should be there somewhere. I'm new to this, or new to doing things like this. Anyways, I'm gonna play the film, and I'm just gonna be talking about it, and just giving some behind the scenes insight. And start. Cool. So we start off, this is actually my grandfather's house. He actually passed away last week because of the coronavirus. But at the time he let us use the house, the story was supposed to be about Dominican. So you see the Virgin Mary on the far right, the Dominican Virgin Mary. And his had like the typical Dominican household for like a grandfather in Washington Heights. So I wanted to use his location. It was simple, had what I needed, and it worked with what we needed. So there you have Jose, who plays the protagonist, and then you have my grandfather. So essentially he finds out that his grandfather is not breathing and his grandfather is not alive. Then you have the religious relics, because a lot of Hispanic household and also Dominican household have a lot of religious relic, whether it's a statue or a cross or anything like that. And then also the Dominican flag, should throw that in there. But yeah. And by the way, this is all improvised. I did not practice or rehearse this, so no mistakes, hopefully. So one of the cool things about the transition for the intro of the film is that these are photography of my grandfather's house. The only thing I added was the Dominican flag that you saw before. Everything else was already there. So I just wanted to give the audience an idea of what the house looked like. And like I mentioned, because I wanted something simple, straight to the point that says a lot in just a small amount of detail, I wanted to choose that's why I chose my grandfather's apartment.
What car's over there? No, I can use the walk. You sure, man?
So that's Caesar. So he's Jose's friend. And Caesar was happy to help us out. Was looking for somebody to help me in playing the character Luigi, which is Jose's character cousin. So basically in real life they're friends, but in the movie they're cousin, and it's kind of like it's supposed to be a resemblance of my cousin and I, who his name is actually Luigi. So it's kind of us there. Yeah, the phone call took us a while because when you're doing this for the first time, you gotta call multiple times, gotta get it right, the notifications. So I love Shawn Washington Heights, as you can see here. I love the rooftops, being in the rooftop and just seeing the kind of the city from above. So I was like, I need to get a shot of an aerial view, a rooftop view of Washington Heights. And we have Jose looking at the letter that says that they want to invite him to join the military. The letter, actually I typed it up, I put some pictures from Google, and then at the bottom I actually signed it and I modified it a bit, so kind of an Easter egg.
Hey, David. Yeah.
So this was actually, fun fact, Jose's first film.
What do you mean?
So he did a fantastic job in terms of the acting and just following direction. Sadly, I haven't used him as much as I wish I should have used him, also because I haven't really worked on a lot of projects to bring him aboard to. But that definitely, for being in a beginning stage, and for it to be back in 2016 when everything kind of started for me, not bad. Oh, that one in the background, that's Ariel. He's my best friend, and he tends to be the producer and tends to be my production assistant in a lot of my projects. So any projects also that I have written or anything, I need a kind of a feedback on. I always send it to him. He's always my to-go-to person. And for this film, I was like, hey, you're a big part of this project, so I want you to make a cameo. This is a park up in Washington Heights by 191st Street. And then that's Daisha, the character of Melissa, who we introduce here.
I got stuck babysitting the kids. Sorry, I couldn't make it.
Now, then in the person in the bike is actually my little brother. So I had him kind of going around riding a bike. And you will see why the bike was important for this scene.
Yeah, I know, but I know how much he meant to you.
When I made this film, I didn't have the lav mic or didn't have a lot of the audio equipment in order to create this film. In order to create this film to, I guess, max potential for audio purposes. Oh, that's the bike. So that you see the distraction in the moment to clear up the tension. But anyways, yeah, so I have better equipment now, but back then I didn't really have much equipment. So I was capturing a lot of external noise from the people in the parks. And then when I came to the editing process, it was really difficult to make sure everything matched up because you have that weird scream or
Just let me know.
that weird summer noise from a lady, people in the doing picnics and things like that. And yeah, so
Well, I'm not.
now I'm more aware and more knowledgeable about audio and how to use it correctly in terms of filmmaking. So
You were there for me.
learning curve. That's what filmmaking is all about.
Birthdays, my scholarship ceremony.
It's just, it's hard.
And also, see, you saw an adjustment in the lighting. So one thing that I did was I filmed them both. I filmed Jose then, and then I filmed Daisha. And the thing that I didn't bring to account was the sun. At the time, I didn't have any lights. So when I was filming, the sun actually was
Just to help you with everything.
almost gone by the time I was filming Daisha
No matter how far
close
you
up.
go, I'm gonna
And and since she's has already dark complexion, it didn't work in my favor. So after this film, I noticed I need to invest in lights, and so at this time I didn't have any lights. All of this was natural light, which is not bad, but for trying to balance out the color in the scenes and having it be too dark,
serious,
um,
Abby.
yeah, as you can see, yeah. So
I'll see you.
there's like a lack of color. Like I said, it's all improvised, so oh man, I'm sweating. It's also hot in here, but yeah. And Jose, the bracelet she gives him, and then that's supposed to be a ticket, the bus ticket that's supposed to take him to the military camp, and then some time lapse, Washington Heights. I wish I would have done a simpler
Tres años.
and less
It's nothing.
noticeable transition for this one, but also the lighting, as you can tell, I didn't have a diffuser either,
about the people
so it
around
was a
you?
really harsh light hitting them, and it was a
about
really
me?
hot day.
What's your
So
point?
now I have a
nothing
diffuser,
here
but
to
back
let
then,
this
if I
neighborhood for me.
knew
What's
more
the
about
only
lighting,
good
I
thing
would
about
have had a
it?
diffuser to have it over them and make sure that the light is not hitting them as harsh and strong. And with a diffuser, the light would will soften the light,
You've been
and it will
here
look
your
way
entire
better.
life.
So diffuser is like that giant
isn't
round
gonna
thing
change
that you see
anything.
people holding up, or it could also be what photographers
You don't have a
use,
choice
that
in
it
my
kind of
life,
covers
alright?
the light
It's
bulb.
my decision, my life.
Or you can Google it, diffusers,
I got
you will
nothing here.
definitely see
I
a
got
lot
no
of
family.
examples.
Listen, I got nothing. Nothing.
I just don't want you to leave.
Give me one reason
I like
why I
this
should leave
moment,
this hopeless place.
tension. So when I wrote the film, this was actually one of the first scenes that came up in my head. So
what?
when I
Speak
write a
up.
film, I don't start from the beginning or the end. I just kind of jump in
Because
the
I love
middle,
you,
or I
Andy.
think of one core moment
I always have.
and then just kind of
I
expand.
always will.
So in this case,
only person I can be
I
myself
started with
around.
when they were having this conversation
You're
and
the
the
person that's
kind
been
of the
there for me
bomb
for everything.
blew up.
Every occasion.
I don't know, it just kind of the way it worked,
No,
and
stop.
just
Stop.
I built a story
Seriously?
around it.
Come on, this is a low blow even for you.
How can you even say that?
Come on, it's been 18 years. And you want to tell me now? If you really cared, why wait?
Well, I never expected you to leave.
Yeah, well, I never expect you to love me back.
Oh. That's probably one of my favorite moments, just because the truth is revealed. Is like that confession that he always liked her, but she never really showed it. But now she expressed it, and now he's kind of like, it's too late. So this was shot at Our Lady of Lourdes Church on 142nd Street, between Amsterdam and Convent Avenue. This was actually the church that I grew up going to. I was an altar boy for 10 years. So I had a strong connection with the church and was basically able to get the church for free. And yeah, so that's basically the church. And I knew how to turn on the lights in the church and everything, so it worked perfectly. So here we have kind of, he needs guidance. And he doesn't know what to do with his life right now. He doesn't know if he should stay or he should go and join the military. Here we have Ronald. He prays the priest, Catholic priest. Fun fact, Ronald is Jewish. So it was really interesting for him to kind of play a character of a different religion. But he played it well. He memorized his line. And I remember that shirt, that priest shirt, I actually bought it on Amazon, which I think was like $20 or something like that. Like, oh, I didn't know you could buy this on Amazon.
Time with God.
So
Nothing to be ashamed about, especially when we've just.
yeah, definitely I would have changed the angle, made it closer,
Did you
getting
find that guy that
a
you
better
were
shot of, a tighter shot of Ronald. And also adding more light. Like I mentioned, I didn't really have the light at the time. And also for lenses, I got more lenses after this. So this is literally my beginner project.
Lead to your happiness.
That's a good question, Andy. It's a tough one. Life doesn't.
And props to Ronald. So Ronald, I met him at Clark University.
That's his
He graduated a year before me,
Everything
and
happens
he
for
lived
a
in
reason,
Jersey.
though.
Like, hey, I need help
And
with
even if
this.
it
So
doesn't make sense
he was
to
able to
us
help
today,
out, and
it will make
he
sense to us.
he had a lot of lines, and I was concerned about him memorizing it, but he came really prepared. So one of the cool things about
asking me about
working on a film is that if you're
right?
working with somebody for the
Happiness
first
is
time,
not
you will get
based on
shocked
your
in a good way. You will
decisions.
get shocked in a good way,
Based on
and
the decisions of
I feel like a lot of
everyone,
people will
especially
exceed your expectation if it's your first
you
time
love,
working on a film.
people you trust, people you
Maybe
care for.
not 100% of the time, but most of the time,
They're
there were
who
moments that
you
I'm like,
are.
wow, like they exceeded what I
They
was expecting
influence
of
you
them,
for the better,
and that's like the best
and
surprise of them all.
unfortunately also for the worse. You know, it's funny that although they can hurt us, and they do hurt us all the time, they can also give us so much joy that we don't ever want them to leave our side.
That makes sense.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to rush out like this, but I have a meeting to get
Yeah, so
to.
part of
If
the
you ever wanna
conversation
come
is
by
kind of
and
envisioning
talk,
between me and the priest. So
please feel
I
free.
think even though I never was kind of planning to go to the military or anything, I put myself into Jose's character. So there's like a mini reflection of myself there. Then you have Daisha. Then you have the Haitian flag, because Daisha is of Haitian descent. You also have the ice cream. So basically, you see a lot of stuff. She's eating ice cream because she's sad. A lot of us can relate to that. She's Haitian, and you can also see the Dominican flag. So she's a mixture of both, and she has this representation of the island of Hispaniola, basically showing both culture. So I don't want to just focus on like Dominican. I want to also invite other ethnicity and other culture to it as well.
Dear Melissa, congrats on the
So
scholarship.
there she is reading the
Always knew
letter
you'd be the one to do
that
someone important in our lives.
the
Love
character,
you always,
Jose's character
Andy.
wrote. I didn't watch this before doing this video, so I'm totally blanking out on the character's name. I know Daisha character is Melissa. This is a train scene. For some reason, even in my feature films, I love filming this in the train stations. I don't know why. I guess because I grew up in New York City, so I would really enjoy filming this one. I think we did this one in 2 shots. I think it just took 2 shots to do it, so we didn't have to redo it a lot of times. And Jose is tracking shot. Really harsh lights. Definitely could have improved it, but this is why we do film, and the point is to just keep learning from it. You will never be perfect unless you still in Spielberg. So you have the George Washington Terminal, which now looks better. So basically, yeah, I wanted to just keep it in Washington Heights, keep it local to the area and true to the area. So he's looking at the bus ticket, which I also created and printed out. Now we go in black, and then we see Daisha there by the park that they were in, and then you see Jose with his bag. And then you notice that I have the lines in the top and in the bottom. So one of the reason I did that is to, and also the cut in the kids is to kind of keep the audience at their edge and kind of find out or kind of think about if what happened was real or not. Like, was this all part of the imagination, or they actually did meet in person after everything went down? So definitely there were things that I could have in I could have had created better and developed better. But yeah, for being a first film, I don't think it was too bad, right? I hope so. But yeah, so basically that's my first film. I'm going to be doing a review of my other films. If you're watching this, thank you again. And if you have any questions, definitely feel free to hit me up. I really love helping people and giving them knowledge when it comes to filmmaking. So again, Carlos Deschamps, Cinematic Heights, and peace out. Yeah.